Hey, welcome to another Freedom on Fire. I'm your boy Robert Brown, Bob TV. Whatever you want to call me. Right now, I guess some people want to call me charlatan, turncoat, whatever. Let's get something straight, people, because you're messing with the wrong one. I love heat. I love fight back, push back. I love what they call trolls, because I eat you alive, trolls. I love it. I love haters. It seems like I got a couple of them, a couple of haters. I love you. I love you. Look, let me tell you something about me. I'm an independent. I have no party affiliation. I loathe party affiliations. I think they're one of the things that are driving this country into strong divisions. We got different parties claiming that they should take the lead in messaging for a new era, a new deal. You got the Republicans just straight going off the end. Then you got Democrats who pretty much the new Republicans. Then you got progressives who want to stay in the camp of the left. There's a difference between the left and progressives. Progressives are not left. You got too many left people that are centric, corporate minded, donor push politicians. Now, so I made a statement. I did a three-part series called The DNC is Pimping Bernie. And I am telling the truth, and all you have to do is look at it. The Democratic Party don't want to do any of Bernie Sanders' ideas. Hillary didn't want to do it. They probably made that platform, but Hillary was not going to push that platform. She was totally against it. The corporate Democrats will continue to screw progressives in the Democratic Party. Bernie Sanders is going to do whatever he can to hold on to the progressives in the party and try to take over the party, which I have no problem with that. I believe progressives should be in every area in the spectrum of politics. There are progressive Republicans, progressive Democrats, progressive Greens, progressive, you name it, independents. Progressives, true progressives, are huge in numbers. And the problem is the Democratic Party look at the progressives in the party and see it as a minute element of their party. They see it as a bunch of young kids that don't know what the crap they're talking about, and Bernie Sanders is leading them, and they want to pimp Bernie Sanders. And I say it again, let's get something straight too. For some of you over there, there's probably a couple of haters. I am a true campaigner. I worked on the Bernie Sanders campaign here in New York City. Until you make those phone calls like I made them, until you knock on those doors like I made them, my union endorsed Bernie Sanders. Doc, I was there when he came. I walked with Bernie Sanders to go to Verizon to rally and picket with the communication workers. So you're not looking at a punk who just a voter or a so-called Bernie crap. You're looking at a real, true campaigner, Doc. I don't talk the talk. I walk the walk. So until you knocked on hundreds of doors for Bernie Sanders, shut up. Until you made hundreds of phone calls for Bernie Sanders, keep your mouth off me, Doc. So if you want to call me out, bring it on, because I will call you out anytime. I'm not going to give you the pleasure of naming your name on the little show that I have growing. You're not worth it. But you don't want to call me out, Doc. I'm the 50 Cent of politics. And I bite my tongue a whole lot because I can cuss these politicians out in a minute. Cuss them out. I'm sitting over here looking at Benjamin Dixon and this thing with H.A. Goodman, my man. And I like Benjamin Dixon too. But look, first of all, they need to be stop this division in the area of journalism and commentary. I'm not a journalist. I'm a commentator. I make comments. Whether you like it or not, I don't give a crap. Some of the comments I make, I hate to say it. But because in my heart is the truth, I have to say it. Because some people don't have the guts to say it. So until you pound the pavement like I did, went to every last one of the rallies, did whatever you can to help out. Until you did like me, Doc, be quiet. Now, I fell in love with Bernie Sanders and this policy. I learned from a young person not to be led 100% by a man. It was Bernie Sanders' policies that I desire and push because it grows the progressive base. You got to understand, folks, some of you guys are leaning on Bernie Sanders, and I've learned to detach myself. I still support him in certain areas. I mean, I support him in his fight on Congress. Nobody else is doing it like he's doing it. What do I look like crapping on him for that? My main thing about Bernie is him and this idea that he's going to change a party when these people are not going to change. They're going to change him before they let him change the party. Plus, another thing, my man getting up there in age. I mean, you guys are so into this. Some of you guys, not all you guys, are into this identity politics. If Bernie go home to be with the Lord, and I hope he have a long life, what are you going to do now? The movement still goes on. You think it goes on in the freaking Democratic Party? The progressive base is bigger than the Democratic Party. Majority of it is outside the Democratic Party. So yes, while Bernie do whatever he can to take over the Democratic Party, and I support that up to a certain limit, because I'm for progressives taking over everywhere. And he is a progressive. I support the Justice Democrat in primary and these corporate nutcases getting them out of office. I support that to a certain level. I don't support our revolution because our revolution will take corporate donor money if they have to. Their board, it is in their policy. The board will get together and take corporate money if they feel like they have to. I'm not a fan of Jeff Weaver. That's why I was more lenient toward Nick Brandon. Bernie Sanders is the Democratic Party. And, you know, not to toot his horn, but Bernie Sanders command half of the Democratic Party, and majority of the independents are willing to go with Bernie, but not in that party. But if he was to step outside of the party, he would have majority of America pushing him. But as long as he in the party trying to reform that party, a lot of people don't want to have nothing to do with the Democratic Party, and they're not. Majority of the independents are not. And I'm just telling you the truth. We sat here and watched the Democratic Party continue to stab their own progressive base, spit on them, piss on them, slap them, smack them, put their foot up there behind, and they just let it happen. And until you stand up, it's just going to keep happening over and over again. That's why I said in the ending of that clip, you're not going to sheepdog us into that party. We'll support you in your fight against Trump. We'll support you in your fight against corporate Democrats. But as long as you kissing up the Nancy Pelosi, as long as you see the election is over with, so some guy talking about, well, he kept his word with Hillary. Well, I'm glad he did. He didn't have to. I mean, once it's proven that you're cheating, my word is not worth 2 cents anymore. You violated. So I don't have to honor any agreement when you broke the agreement first. And I still believe he should have went independent, but he kept his word. But now Hillary is not running, and Bernie Sanders don't have no obligation to nothing unless he choose to. And since he choose to stay in that party, which is his choice, since he choose to reform that party, most of us outside the party choose to reform the nation. And we don't need Bernie Sanders to do that. We would like to help him. We would like to push him. Most of us do. But we don't need him. Bernie already told us this movement is bigger than just a man. It's the people coming together as a collective, not by party. That's why I support the Progressive People's Coalition. I mean, I've been having this idea of the progressive peoples taking off their party hats and coming together as one, as a voting bloc, to maybe help Bernie pass some serious laws that needed to be passed to help apply the heat, to be the real Tea Party on the left, not the Tea Party in the Democratic Party, but a real Tea Party outside of parties. Parties are a division. They are a distraction. You do whatever you need to do in your party. That's fine. But don't expect us to come to your party to support you in what you do. See, I'm the same man as always. I hit on Obama. I criticize him about things. I will criticize Bernie Sanders about things. I will criticize anybody, Chuck Schumer, anybody, Trump, anybody. I criticize myself. Do I mean I hate them? Do that mean I bash them? No, I tell the freaking truth, and some people can't handle the truth. As they say in Jack Nicholson, and Tom Cruise in the movie. You can't handle the truth. Man, get some balls and get some guts. Don't get all testy and, oh, you said something about Bernie. Let me tell you something. If you know my show, I hit on everybody when I feel that they're doing something that's going to damage um, the growth of where this country need to go. And like I said, I am for Bernie. Bernie can do whatever. If you want to, if he think he has a chance of reforming that dead cold stale party, who refuse to go left, who refuse to become progressive. They hate and loathe progressives. They behind deep down in heart, they hate and loathe Bernie Sanders, and they hate and loathe independence. And my mom said, "Why are you gonna sit there and try to build a relationship with somebody that hate and loathe you, when you can build a relationship with people that love you and celebrate it?" One of the greatest principles my pastor told me is people want to go where they're celebrated, not tolerated. Bernie is being tolerated. And let me tell you something. I'm saying this out of the bottom of my heart of a man that loves everybody, including Trump, including Bannon. And I know you said, what? You love them? My religion, my faith commands me to love all people unconditionally. Do I agree with them? No. Will I pounce on them when they do wrong? You doggone freaking right. It doesn't matter who it is. It could be you. It could be me. It could be my uncle. It could be anybody. When I feel that you're going to do something to hurt American people or stop the American people or stop the progress of American people, I'm going to say something, and I don't give a two craps about what you like or what you don't like. You got to toughen up and get your skin tough. Become like a rhino and take it. Because most of the things that are coming out of my freaking mouth is the freaking truth. Now, I'm a nice guy. But when somebody's going to challenge me, Doc, and I get them a lot of challenging, you better come out swinging, baby boy. You better come out swinging. Because I'm not no rookie in the area of politics. I may not have the degrees. I am a regular guy who's been through the thick and thin on these streets, and I got my eyes wide open to governmental affairs, local state affairs, and things like that. Somebody asked me what I'm going to do to help build local state. No, that's the party job. That's your job. My job is to tell people to take off their hat, become a voting bloc, come up with the vision. America need to come up with their own vision. America need to stop leaning on politicians to tell them their vision and join in it. No, Americans need to tell politicians the vision of America and say, politician, if you push this vision for America that we have on this document, then we will not only finance you, but we will push you hard for office, whether it's the mayors, whether it's the dog catcher, or the president of the United States. This is what we want. If you're willing to give us this, you got our back. Nope, we don't want to know about what you want us to have. We're tired of politicians telling us what we should have. We know what we should have. We can confirm it with you, with what you got in your platform, but we might want a little more than what you have in your platform. So going back to this for you people who are a little testy about my last minute statement of a 3-part series saying, Bernie, get out the way, or get out the way. I meant that and I meant it to this day. It is more important, Bernie. I believe that Bernie Sanders is being used by that party, and that party don't care two craps about him and the progressive movement, and they keep proving it over and over again with the railroading of Bernie Sanders in the election, with the continuing undermining of Bernie Sanders, with the Keith Ellison fake deputy chair, co-chair, whatever it is. That is just undermining you want to use their progressive popularity to remain relevant. I said nothing against Bernie Sanders to harm Bernie Sanders. I could say some things, but I'm not. Because like I say, I love all people. But I have to tell the truth, just like my mom would tell me. They're using him, Doc. They're trying to pimp him of his popularity to remain relevant. And they're trying to use Bernie Sanders to sheepdog people to get back into the Democratic Party. They call it Dementer. And you probably a Dementer. Not Doc. Not Doc. No. Most of us have been in an abusive relationship. After you done get hit one time, that's not your fault. But if you get hit the second time, that's your fault because you choose to stay in the relationship. Now, just to remind you, cup of haters, I love Bernie Sanders. Do I agree with him? Freaking no. I don't agree with him on his decision to support a corporate clown like Hillary Clinton, and that caused us Trump. I really believe that if he would have went independent, despite his word, look, despite his word, he kept his word. But once they broke their word and their bond, he's not obligated to do anything. They broke their word. He could have ran independent, and he would have won in a landslide because the majority of the independents would have backed him, as well as some Republicans who did not want to vote for Trump, and as well as half the Democratic Party. Sticking with Hillary Clinton and trying to promote her butt was a bad move. And continuing to push and support corporate Democrats like Chuck Schumer and Nancy Pelosi and Claire McCaskill and Cory Booker and all those punk politicians, to me, is undermining his credibility. Yes, he's an awesome guy, do some awesome things and all that. I still have some issues where I don't agree with him, and I'm a little bit more calmer and respectful than some of my other friends. If I let my other friends tell you what they think of him, you really wouldn't like it. But me being the cordial gentleman that I am, I'm being cordial. I worked hard for that man, and I expected a revolution. I didn't expect a revolution to die because of a corporate politician. A revolution means you throw out any kind of rules and you go and fight until you win. And a real way to win a revolution, to spark, expand, and win a revolutionary war is you got to have a coalition of the willing. Your army may not be big enough. And right now, the Progressive Army in the Democratic Party is not big enough. And don't you dare expect the biggest progressive army of all, which is outside the party, to come in line and join the Democratic Party. That's not going to happen. The best way to do it is everybody take off their freaking party hats, all progressives, no matter where you are, come together as one voting bloc, make your demand on what you want to happen in 2018, 2017, 2019, and 2020, and run candidates who will sell out to that. That is the way we transform America. While some of you want to transform the Democratic Party, people like me and other people like me want to transform this country. I'm Bob TV, baby. Freedom on fire. And I am on fire. Don't you mess with me. Because I'm not no punk. Just to let you know. I'm not no punk. Love me. You gotta love me because I tell you the truth. See, when a father tell his child the truth and he say things that the child don't want to like, the child is mad at daddy. But once they find out daddy was right, they go to daddy and said, hey, you're right. So you can call me your daddy. Anyway, I don't act like I know it all, but I'm very passionate. Before you run your mouth on me, go back and watch my tapes. I've been one of the biggest supporters of Bernie than he ever had. And I don't leave no strings. I don't leave nobody off my table of being critical or criticizing or calling them out. I can do that. Still love you, still respect you, and still have some form of honor for you. But when you're wrong, and I'm going to let you know. And Donald Trump, I got a couple videos I got coming your way. So get ready, because I'm going to smack you with some stuff. And anybody who wants to challenge me, my inbox is my page, after this video is done, there's a comment section. You go for it. You go for it. Will I respond? Maybe, depending on if I got time for you. I got more important things to do than sit there and spar with you and debate with you. I got people who need their jobs and trying to get a higher wage. I'm part of the Fight for 15 commission and things like that. I'm doing real stuff, Doc. Not sitting in my house playing with the TV knob. Last but not least. No, I'm done. Can't phase me. As MC Hammer said, can't touch me. I like fire. I like people who say they're gonna call me out to the carpet and things like that. I love it. Bring it on, cause I will get you before you get me, baby.